Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real KENZ TV in the house like kitchen sinks. I'm going to get straight to it today, man. We not doing no intros. I'm going to get straight to it because I really, really have a bone to pick and I have a problem, man. A lot of you all are going to have a problem with me for having a problem and addressing this and feeling the way that I feel, but that's how I feel. This whole P. Diddy situation has gone way, way, way too far, man. It's to the point now to where it's starting to become embarrassing. It's starting to become quite obvious that it's a witch hunt out for this man. You put up an 800 number and basically invite people in to just come in and just tell a story, just make up a story off the top of the wall, off the top of their heads. Over 3,000 calls at the time that this press conference was given. I believe over 3,200 calls. So now there's an additional 109 cases against him, civil cases. My thing is this with the whole P. Diddy situation. A lot of people, he's getting what he deserves or whatever. He did this, he did that. So he's finally getting what he deserves. No definitive proof. Oh, well, he killed Biggie. He killed Tupac. Everybody in LA, everybody knows that's close to that situation. Even gangbangers then came out and said Diddy didn't have anything to do with that. But everybody puts their own assertion. Everybody has a right to their own opinions. Don't get me wrong. So it's as though you want to judge him based upon how you feel. You want to convict him in the court of public opinion. And that's fine. That's your right to do so. You have a situation going on with Diddy and not one individual that you often seen him with. Rather it's Meek Mill. Rather it's, Rick Ross. The rapper Fabulous. All of these individuals that you've seen him with quite often. They say, Jay-Z. Jay-Z's not saying anything. Where's Jay-Z at? Jay-Z never said anything. So you can't quite convict Jay-Z of that because you rarely see Jay-Z on social media or, he's way up here. You don't see Jay-Z like that anyway. You got these individuals that they don't want to lose their spot. They don't want to lose their position. So you take a Rick Ross. He's not going to come out and publicly say anything. Yeah, I'm quite sure that he's interacting with Diddy, on the phones and, however that they're able to communicate. Definitely prior to his incarceration. But these people can't come out and say anything because they're in positions that are so high, they could be next. If you take individuals such as Stevie J, he's not a millionaire. And if he is, it's probably just barely, but I doubt he's a millionaire. He got so many kids and child support and things of that nature. You got, who else? The rapper G-Dep. He came out on, behalf of Diddy. But he's not in a high position. He's just now getting out of prison. You got Lil Boosie that's speaking on P. Diddy's, situation, saying how messed up it is and how unfair it is. So you do have some people. You got Dr. Umar that's coming out and saying things, but these guys are not really, although, Lil Boosie, he's I guess you could consider Lil Boosie famous to certain people. Everybody doesn't know who Lil Boosie is. Yeah, he's a millionaire. But your upper echelon as far as, popularity, they're not going to come out and say anything because they don't want to be put in a predicament or put in a position to where their dirt is exposed. Very disappointed in 50 Cent, man. Talking about doing a show similar to the Surviving P. Diddy. It gets to a certain point to where a joke is a joke, but once the police, become involved and you see an individual going through these things, it's no longer to continue. It's time to cease and desist. Don't say anything else. Now, this is just my opinion. Is P. Diddy a piece of crap? I feel as though he is. I seen the tape just like everybody else seen the tape, video, whatever you want to, label it as. Does he deserve to do some time for that? Absolutely. Even though it's only a misdemeanor, it should be a felony for how he did Cassie. and the other women that he's put his hands on throughout the years. But you have these individuals that are constantly, oh man, he's getting what he deserves. He deserves to go to prison for life. He deserves to never get out again. Why? Why do you feel that way? Oh man, he got those rappers, man, signing them bad contracts. Listen. Business is business, B. When someone puts a contract in front of your face and they offer you to sign that contract, you have an option to say, let me get back with you. You take that contract, you take it to your attorney, you take it to your accountant, you take it to the necessary people. If you don't have an accountant or whatever, you probably don't have an accountant at that point because you don't have any money. You take it to your attorney, get you an attorney, if you don't already have one, and you let him thoroughly look that contract over. So you know exactly what you're signing. Nobody made these individuals that didn't own their publishing sign these contracts. Everybody gets beat in their first deal. Most people anyway. And you got some people that, like your Cash Money Records, your Ludacris. You have certain individuals that never got beat in a record deal. But I guarantee you they did their due diligence. They didn't just sign just because, okay, we're going to offer you 100, 200,000 and they just signed the contract. No. They did their due diligence. They went, they took their time. They, had the contract looked over. And if they decide to sign, then they sign. Just like the actress Taraji P. Henson. Now, you want to complain because you feel as though you're not getting what you're supposed to be getting. So in the Color Purple, I think, the second Color Purple, I believe she was only, what did they say she made? 350,000? Or was it 150,000? It was something very, very minute as far as what a typical white Hollywood actress would be paid. But at the same time, Taraji, you signed on for it. You knew what you was going to be paid. But now you going off on Oprah and you talking about all of these people. You're not getting what you're worth. You got a net worth of like, I don't know, 12 million, 25 million, something like that. And you're not, and I get it. Even though you're making money, your accolades still, you should be making more. Well, I just quit and go do something else. Have at it. Welcome to the real world. You're not dealing with what your average everyday person is dealing with, trying to figure out how they're going to make their mortgage payment or their rent payment, $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 a month, $1,600, $1,700 a month or more. Trying to figure out how they're going to, make their car payments or pay their utilities and just living check to check and day by day and wondering how they're going to, pay the kids' tuition. You're not dealing with that. So no one really wants to hear that. Yeah, I understand it's a problem and it is a huge problem in Hollywood. I get it. I definitely get it. But at the same time, you're signing up for these roles. If you don't like to be the boss, or if you don't like the boss, take your money, put it into something and become the boss. This whole thing with P. Diddy is like, it's really, really sad. Here it is, this individual is sitting in a cell all day long, 23 hours a day, maybe 24. They're running his name through the mud. He's in suicide watch. He won't eat. Most people don't eat when they first go to prison. You're going to eat eventually because you're not a robot. You're not a machine. At some point, you're going to eat. You got this man in suicide watch in a room the size of a bathroom, 23, 24 hours a day. Didn't have a blanket. He probably doesn't even have any shoes. When he eats his food, he has to eat with his hands. It's called finger foods out of a styrofoam tray. People walking by watching him all day in the cell, use the bathroom, they watching him. Probably can barely get on the phone. Limited contact to the outside world. Most places don't even have visits at this point. You visit through they have tablets. And I don't know how it is in New York in the facility that he's in. Every day somebody's coming forward saying this, saying that. Men is coming forward just saying different things or what have you. And it's just to the point to where it's blatantly a money grab. Is P. Diddy guilty of some of these things that people said? Maybe, maybe not. It's awfully crazy that out of all these years, there's not been one criminal complaint. Oh, but yes, the powers to be are protecting him. How? P. Diddy's been charged several times. hit Steve Stout over the head with a bottle, got charged with assault. The little incident that he had in the club with Shine, Jennifer Lopez, he was charged in that, went to trial and beat it. He's been charged with a couple other things, and he always goes to court and he beats it. So the thing is this, it's not as though P. Diddy's never been charged with anything. Out of all these allegations, not one, he did things that are so horrendous, so horrific, that not one person filed criminal charges on him. Then you got Cassie, she's the victim. We see that she's the victim. Obviously, we've seen the video. Stay with this man for 10 years. I know. She was so afraid. She was so afraid of P. Diddy that she wouldn't leave him. She was so afraid of P. Diddy that she couldn't go to the police and be like, hey, this guy is just, he's violent. He's beating me and I need it to stop. No, she continued to come back and come back and come back because guess what? That was the relationship that they had. Does anyone deserve to get beat? Absolutely not. But that lifestyle and cars and mansions, the designer bags, the designer, jewelry, it was a lifestyle that she liked. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't have continued to come back for 10 years. Marries the trainer that P. Diddy paid for. They have kids. Money's running low. I'm going to shake P. Diddy down. Hey, Diddy, I'm about to write this book, a tell-all book. You want to buy the rights to this book? Give me $30 million. No, I don't want to buy it. You sure? Yeah, I don't want to buy the rights. Okay. Now all of a sudden, lawsuit. Now all of a sudden, videotape just happens to come out. After all these years, videotape just comes out. When you are in a position of power like P. Diddy was, and you're dealing with these major corporations, these liquor companies, and you go against them, and you take their money basically because they settled out of court undisclosed amount, or 2 months later, his houses are getting raided. Shortly after that, these videos are coming out that are 8 years old. This is no coincidence that P. Diddy is going through all of these things. Okay, well, P. Diddy should be charged for what he did to Cassie. Okay, definitely should be charged for what he did to Cassie. But guess what? The statute of limitation was up, so they couldn't charge him with that. And even if they did, it was a misdemeanor. Should be a felony in my eyes, but I'm just saying according to the statute, it's a misdemeanor. So we can't just go after him for a misdemeanor. Even if we could. We can't, but even if we could, we can't go after individual such as P. Diddy. Now the powers to be, they want more. Prosecutors, man, this is a prosecution's dream. To have a case like this, to be able to say, I'm the one that prosecuted P. Diddy, I'm the one that, brought down R. Kelly, I'm the one that did this, is business. It's a dream. So now you have all of these people, you have all of these allegations that are coming forth, you have all of these individuals that are speaking on it, and P. Diddy can't say anything because he hasn't had his day in court. So all they can do is just sit back and take that. Literally. Well, come on, KENZ, all these people ain't lying, all these people are not making up. Let me give y'all an example, and you all can Google this. The people from Lexington that watch my channel, there was an individual named Ronald Berry. Google it. I don't remember what year it was. I want to say it was in the early 2000s. He ran an organization here called Micro City in Lexington, Kentucky. It's an organization called Micro City. Basically, the kids, kids would have summer jobs, free lunch program. They would pass out the free lunches, things like that. Kind of kept the kids off the streets, gave them an opportunity to make some money throughout the summer. Some kids maintained their jobs throughout the year, but the majority of the people had jobs in the summertime. Now, you can only work through Micro City if your parents either didn't work or they made a very, very low wage. So many people were helped out through Micro City. Ron Berry did so much for the community for years. Now, I don't know the particulars because I don't really remember, but he had fallen out with the city council, what have you. There were some discrepancies, and I can't remember exactly, what those discrepancies entailed of. Next thing you know, Micro City shut down, which means what's all the little kids gonna do now? What's all the little ghetto kids gonna do now that and I don't mean to label anybody as ghetto kids, but I'm just saying all the kids in the urban communities, if you will, at $200-300 a week that they were making, that was gonna allow them to, buy them school clothes and get them the little things that they need. What are they gonna do? People didn't care about anything like that. Their kids was cool. Their kids are in private school. That's all that matters. Next thing you know, now Ron Berry, he was Ron Berry was, he was a gay man. Next thing you know, it's quiet whispers. Ron is doing this. Ron is doing inappropriate things with kids. That day comes, Ron is arrested. Charged with multiple counts of doing inappropriate things to kids that work for him at Micro City. All the years that Micro City has been there, all of a sudden now, when he has a discrepancy with the powers to be, Micro gets shut down, the funding stops, and he's charged with these horrific crimes as far as, inappropriately touching and saying things to kids. The big old trial. Ron goes through the whole court process. He doesn't take a plea deal or anything. He goes to trial. He's convicted. Guilty. Sentenced to 3 years in prison. 3 years now. They sent him to prison. Man never had a criminal record whatsoever. Well, after that, the floodgates were open. All type of lawsuits against Micro City, against the city or what have you, for what Ron Berry allegedly did to these kids. I don't know if Ron did anything to anybody. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not saying that he did. Just because you get convicted doesn't necessarily mean that you did it. The point that I'm making is, what I'm stressing is, the lawsuits piled up. You had individuals that was openly saying, man, Ron ain't never did nothing to me, but shoot, man, they handing out 80,000 like it ain't nothing. Everybody was getting like 80,000, 160,000. So you had guys that was going in just making up stuff. Yeah, man, he touched me, man. He said this to me. He told me close my eyes and pretend it was Janet Jackson, and I didn't know. I was just a kid. I didn't know what to do, so I just did it. Again, I'm not saying that he didn't do anything to anyone, but I know for a fact there was individuals that he never did anything to, and they were just jumping on the lawsuits. It's so easy to do once several people do it, because if you try to do it by yourself, it's like, you just one person. Okay, you're just two people. You're just three. But when it's already 10, 12 people on the lawsuit, if I worked for Micro City, I could have easily went down there and said, yeah, man, he used to say this to me, and he used to do this to me just as well. Everybody was trying to get that 80,000. So look at P. Diddy. You're looking at a guy that's worth, 7, 8, 900 million at the time. If you was anywhere around him, if you partied with him, if you worked at Bad Boy, whether you was an intern, whether you was an engineer, a producer, you was just one of his friends, you was signed to his label, all the people that he's encountered over the years and, come across. You got all these individuals that are just, he did this to me, he did that, but not one over all these years ever filed a criminal complaint. You all are suing him for money, but you all never even attempted to file charges on the man. See, that's what they do. They'll humiliate you. And the reason I said it's gone too far now, because now you are bringing in kids, man. You got a 9-year-old, so you have an individual that at the time was 9, maybe 10. Now let's just say this individual, and I'm just using this as an example. Let's just say this individual is 25, 30. They're experiencing real life. They're seeing how hard, money is to come by, real money anyway. Man, I can come up with a plan, man. I met with P. Diddy before. I was trying to get signed to the label or whatever. I could say he did this to me. Everybody else is doing it. I just watch a dude get $100 million judgment, even though it got set aside. A lot of people don't really understand and know that. I just watch a dude get 100. They really think that the dude got 100 million. I could say P. Diddy did this to me. P. Diddy is an A-list celebrity. Was anyway. Doesn't put him above anybody. Don't mean that he can't do dirt. Don't mean that he didn't do some of these things. Some of these egregious allegations. But the reason that I'm saying that he's an A-list celebrity is for the simple fact of most people would do anything that they could possibly do to be in the presence of P. Diddy. It's the point that I'm making. I don't have to take anything from anybody. Nobody. You're going to just happily give it up. The same way with Bill Cosby. In the 80s, 90s, this guy was the biggest thing since sliced bread. What do I got to drug you for? Yeah, we probably, they probably popped a couple pills and, because that's what they did then. But what do I have to slide something in your drink for when you're not looking when I'm Bill Cosby? You going to get down with the get down just because of who I am. But they come forward and he did this and I can't sleep at night and I can't. Yeah, but 500,000 make you sleep a lot better, won't it? It's 500,000 in your pocket. Bill Cosby was trying to buy NBC? Took him down. Michael Jackson, I forget what Michael Jackson was trying to do, took him down. Every time you're trying to make a power play, a power move, and they disapprove of it, the powers to be, these charges are going to come about. So for all you judgmental, oh man, KENZ is rocking with R. Kelly. KENZ is rocking with P. Diddy. I sure am. Because everybody deserves their day in court. Now, just because I'm rocking with an individual, that don't mean that I think that they're totally innocent. But this whole thing to where women is saying that he drugged them. They're saying that he's messing with kids. No criminal complaints ever. I don't believe it. Do I think P. Diddy needs to sit down for a few years? Yeah, he does. P. Diddy, he definitely got beside himself. He's gotten away with a whole lot over the years. P. Diddy needs to sit down. 4 or 5 years. He needs to sit down. But the whole sentiment of he needs a life sentence, sex trafficking, because he flew some people in that was with it, willing participants, wanted to be at these parties, these freak-offs. Oh, well, he held them captive. So basically, he just held them captive. Basically, he held everybody captive that was at these freak-offs. You all say that celebrities were there. You all say that you can't wait for the tapes to come out because, you'll be able to see all the senators and all the people, their executives and all the people that's, the higher-ups. Basically, that means that he held them captive too. So when they try to leave, nah, you're not going nowhere. Oh, you think you're going to leave? And he pulls out the AR that they found in his house. The threat of violence. He's giving people IVs. Or having, IVs administered. I'm not saying that he actually did it. So being that he won't allow these people to leave, now it's kidnapping. Come on now. See, the feds can do a lot more than what the state can do. It's a lot easier to beat the state. The feds can kind of make up laws as they go, especially if it crosses the state lines. Some of you all just don't really know the law, so you'll jump in the comments and be like, come on, KENZ, man. Like one time I was talking about an individual catching a gun case. KENZ, that don't even sound right. My partner caught a gun case and the feds didn't pick it up. Well, the feds have an option to pick it up. Sometimes they don't want you like that. Just like with Lil Boosie, the feds didn't have to pick that case up. You see in the very beginning, the rapper Lil Boosie, you see in the very beginning, the state picked it up. But somebody stepped in and said, nah, he crossed state lines. He been running his mouth for years anyway. He got away with murder. Literally, let's get him. I think that we can make this stick. Case gets thrown out. come right back and re-indict him, say, okay, well, the law says that you're allowed to, since you're a celebrity and you had the gun, but you weren't posing a threat, it was just for protection. The law says that you can do it, but the law also says that you're not allowed to do that if you're a drug addict. So now they come back and say that Lil Boosie's a drug addict, and they can re-indict him on the same exact charges that they just threw out and add a charge to it. So now he's facing a little bit more time. They will ruin you in the press. There's going to be more charges that come about. Again, you got an 800 number. If P. Diddy's ever done anything to you, call this number. Man, I worked for Bad Boy one summer, man. He was a jerk. And I could say, man, we was in a room one day and you know, he made advances to me. And I'm like, come on, man, hold on, just chill out. And he kept going. I'm going to call this attorney. Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm on the caseload. Again, I'm not saying P. Diddy was an angel. See, a lot of times people hear and see what they want to see and hear. Oh, Real KENZ said P. Diddy didn't do nothing. I didn't say that. I don't think he did anything to any little kids. That would have been came out. You got these people that are suing him and saying that he had alleged affairs. You ain't never seen one person come out and say that they've been with P. Diddy. That he was an ex, that he was that they messed around, intimately before this happened. It's always been rumors. It's always rumors. Once you get so high up, guess what? They're going to start making up stuff. People are going to start making and putting it in the air. And you have all these, podcasts and YouTube channels out there, like the guy Gene Deal. He's built this whole just popularity, if you will, talking about P. Diddy. He goes on the same podcast. Every time breaking news or any developments in the case happens, they bring him in. Same individual that says that he saw this, he saw that, P. Diddy was a piece of crap, he did this, he did that, but yet the same individual that continued to work for P. Diddy. P. Diddy wouldn't give him any more money for somebody's funeral, one of his partner's funerals, whatever. The two of them didn't work together anymore, and he's had it in for P. Diddy the entire time. Like I said, you got 50 Cent coming out saying different things or whatever. These guys have voices, especially 50 Cent. Powerful platforms. Millions of people that watch and hear what they say. This man has kids, man. Yeah, he has older kids, but he has younger kids just as well. And they have to endure all of these things that the public are saying about their father. Everything's a joke. What he's going through right now is not a joke, man. You know how hard it is for him to probably not take his own life? Not that he could anyway. It's very difficult to hang yourself in a cell, man. This man is really dealing and fighting for his life. And then they say that if he's found guilty, that they can take his empire, that they can take all of his money away, his jets, his boats, his houses, his money, freeze his accounts, if they find him guilty. But his business wasn't built on corruption. His business wasn't built on dirt. His business wasn't built on doing anything illegal. They play a dirty game, man. They play a real, real dirty game. I don't see how in the world P. Diddy's going to get a fair trial. How are you allowed to keep releasing all of these things out in the media? It's tainting the jury. We don't even know who the jury is, but they're tainted. Guarantee you when he goes to trial, guess what the prosecution's going to do? They don't want no black people on the jury. They never do when a black person's on trial. Why? Now, we're not going to make this a racist thing. Now, some things are racist. And I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. Some white people, why is everything racist? Because it is. I'm not saying every white person, but a lot of things is racist. You just don't understand because you're not black. And you'll never understand. I get pulled over by the cops for no reason. Dude jumps in. I tell the story about, how the officer came to the car. He was rude, telling me to shut up, Well, no, KENZ, the police hate everybody that's not in blue. Maybe they do. But guess what? guess what? If you in this, which is your natural skin, they really, really hate you. Facts. Big facts. It's not too hard to look up the evidence. It's everywhere, all over the internet. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm not biting my tongue. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm not saying this whole situation with P. Diddy is a black man. I'm not saying that. But I am going to say that they need to be careful. Because there's a such thing as overcharging people. When you overcharge people, it becomes obvious at some point, like, now, hold on, man. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. This is clearly, they're after this guy, and they're clearly just trying to get this guy. Nah, not guilty. Oh, man, the feds is 97, 98%. I understand. And I don't want no parts of the feds, so I don't do no dirt. But when you have lawyers, when you have and not necessarily just lawyers, I just believe the man to be innocent for the charges that they're charging him with. And I'm not sure about the whole arson thing, blowing up the car. I can see P. Diddy doing that. Yeah, I can see him doing that. Oh, you think you're going to leave me? Oh, you think because you messing with this dude over here? I got something for that. Hey, Playboy. Let me holler at you, Playboy. I can see him doing that. Yeah. Smacking a couple women, hitting them and assaulting them. Yeah, I can see him doing that. Blackballing people, you'll never work in this town again, Playboy. You know who I am? Yeah, I can see him doing that. But the whole sex trafficking, the whole, conspiracy, the whole, no. The RICO Act was created for mobsters because they could never get them with the actual so-called, the violence, because nobody would ever, really testify. And the people that did testify would come up stinking, come up missing. So they come up with the RICO Act to get them on tax evasion, money laundering, things of that nature. They carry high penalties just as well. P. Diddy wasn't no criminal like that. Yeah, he did some criminal acts, but P. Diddy wasn't no criminal like that. How many people have freak-offs? It's a running joke because he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Oh, man, why do you have 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Nobody's denying that he had freak-offs. You all trying to convict the man because he had baby oil. Evidently, that's what they like to do with their freak-offs. A whole lot of baby oils involved. I don't know what's up with the baby oil. But a life sentence? You don't want to give the man a bond? Oh, man, if he gets out, he's going to do something to the witnesses. He could have been done something to the witnesses. If that's what, his intentions were. He could have ran if he wanted to. He knew that this was coming. The feds is kind of different. Sometimes, man, I've seen a situation where a dude, and I thought that he was exaggerating. A dude told us one day, me and a couple of my partners, he was like, man, the feds, man, told me they going to come back and get me in 6 months. Get all my affairs in order, get everything that I need to do. We'll be back in 6 months. He said, I thought they was just trying to scare me. But the closer and closer it came to that 6 month period, I started to really, really wonder. I started to be concerned. And lo and behold, 6 months later, they came and got me. The feds don't necessarily just come and get you right when they want to. Right when they can. P. Diddy could have been ran. There's no reason for this man to be sitting in jail. There's no reason for nobody to be sitting in jail in most cases. That's not given an opportunity to get out. That's not given an opportunity to fight from the outside. Because what they do is they drag you through the mud when you inside. They know that he's sitting in that cell. Look at the rapper Young Thug. If you're not familiar with him, Google Young Thug. This man's been on trial, or his case has been going on nearly 2 years. They keeping him separate from the public, from general population. Oh man, he's in GP. He didn't ask to be in there. They just put him there. They placed him there and won't allow him to be in general population. They know that the longer the case goes, the more money you're going to spend. The likelihood of you taking a plea deal because you get tired of, going back and forth to court. 3 and 4 months in between court dates, sometimes longer. It's difficult to really communicate and work out something, put a plan together strategically with your attorney because you're incarcerated. There's so many different elements to it. They know exactly what they're doing. Then you got this dude that I watched, Choke No Joke. He's out of New York. I believe, Atlanta or New York. And he was supporting P. Diddy until this lawyer came out with the press conference and said that there's an additional 109 civil cases that have been filed against P. Diddy. And when the minors were mentioned, oh man, I can't support him now, man. I didn't know P. Diddy was getting down with the kids. All because an individual got on TV and said something. Her lips can say anything. Just because someone said that you did something doesn't necessarily mean that you did it. Almost everybody watching this channel, almost everybody, period, not just this channel. If the feds wanted you, there's no statute of limitation. They can go back 25, 30 years for some of the things that you've done. Guarantee you they can make a case against you. Guarantee you. I don't care if it was 30 years ago. I don't do those things anymore. Not anymore. If the feds want you, they're going to go back and dig up all the dirt that you've ever done. Then they're going to add some things on top of it. Then they're going to have some people that come in and say, yeah, man, he did this. You ain't never even seen this person. So you're going to have all these allegations against you. You're going to have all these people saying that you did it. And you're like, man, I know him, I know her, but I never did anything like this. Yeah, but they saying that you did. And they can be very powerful. 2 or 3 people, you got 30 people saying it? Now they're putting your face, your picture, your, just mug shot or whatever, plastering it all over the news. People are going to start to convict you. Same way they did Jay Williams. Soon as Jay Williams caught a case, man. Oh, man, he did this. He beat his wife. Man, he beat his kids. Man, he did this. He did that. Why? Because they said that he did it. They's not always right. They is typically exaggerating. I'm not saying that these things are totally made up. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying to be able to just overcharge somebody, Your Honor, we recommend remand. He's a threat to the witnesses. He's a threat to the community. He's a flight risk. And like I said, when you start to bring in the kids, man, that's just when it really, really, really goes too far. Man. Think about R. Kelly. It was a known fact that he liked underage girls. Everybody continued to work with R. Kelly. Not to say that was right. R. Kelly's right where he needs to be for now. But a 30-year sentence for racketeering and criminal, come on, that's ridiculous, man. Sex trafficking and all that. They don't have to sex traffic. Nobody should do that, period. They don't have to sex traffic. But the way that the language is, it's so, I fly you in. I meet a young lady, let's just say Houston, Texas. I fly her into Kentucky. Pay for everything. She kicks it with me for the weekend. We do our little thing, sexually, all throughout the weekend. I'm a sex trafficker? I am considered a sex trafficker? But if the law wanted to charge me with that language of the law, they could go in and charge me with that. Johnny Law. If you got access, I'm sorry, y'all. It's going to be a little noise. I got to cut this car on, man. It's a little hot out here today. You have the stature of a P. Diddy. You dealing with some of the finest women in the world. You heard me? The world, Craig. The world. Anything you want. I want her. Yeah. Bring them in. I'm going to pay for it. They know exactly what's going on. They know exactly what it is, exactly what it's going to be. Fly them in for a week, 2 weeks, however long. Weekend. Makes me a criminal? Man ain't married. I've talked about this in other videos when I used to Uber. Guys pulled me to the side. Hey, brother, let me talk to you. Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, man, you know where I can get any good escorts, man? You know where I can get any good cocaine, man? Nah, man, I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't know you, man. But they look at me, and I guess they judge me, as far as, the communication, the dialogue that we have while we're in the car, what have you. Oh, yeah, he cool, man. He ain't no police, which I'm not. But I'm not about to put you on to something like that. Plus, man, I see that ring. You married? I don't say that, but in my mind, you married? Not many dudes that used to go on Backpage. Honey, I'll be out of town for 4 days, 5 days. I got a business trip. Okay, honey. Love you. See you when you get back. Kids and I'll be here waiting on you. You out of town, you in their business meetings all day long, you with your buddies, y'all out drinking, and, just at the end of the night or the end of a long day, you're out partying and drinking or what have you. And you get online and you get on that Backpage, which is not Backpage now, it's list crawlers. So I hear. That was never my thing, because I ain't trying to pay for nothing. But I know people that do. It just never has been my thing. Wife is never gonna know. I'm 800 miles away from home. This woman doesn't know my real name. I'm gonna pay her in cash, so there's never any traces of, transactions. Now, every time you got a business trip, you on Backpage, or you on these sites hiring escorts. Sex trafficking. And it makes you a dirtbag because you married. You shouldn't be doing your wife like that. And your wife will never know. She never has your phone number. Never any traces. There's no text messages. There's no calls other than the original calls. You may have a dummy phone. You may do it from the hotel phone. No traces of it. Sex trafficking, man. So a lot of you that have a problem with me, a lot of you all that have a problem with everybody else, with P. Diddy, and understand that you're not perfect either. Them skeletons out of your own, get that plank out of your own eye before you continuously judging everybody else. Because I'm quite sure there's a lot of dirt that could be dug up on you as well. Again, I'm not saying P. Diddy's, and I gotta say it 1,000 times, because some people would take this and run with it. KENZ said, I'm not saying that he's innocent. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve any time. I'm saying the sex trafficking, the RICO Act is way beyond the scope of, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. You gonna charge him with possession of drugs? Can't prove that there was drugs at this party. So you all gonna go off of what they say? Probably was, though. It's a Hollywood party. Probably was drugs there. What party do you know of that a regular party is gonna have drugs at the party? Somebody's gonna have it. Maybe not everybody's indulging. I'm not saying everybody indulged there. But for the people, he drugged me, then I woke up the next day and I didn't know what happened, and stop it. Stop it. Because I'm anxious to know, and I'm anxious to find out, okay, he drugged you. Because if I'm the attorney, this is what I'm going to ask. I don't have to go to law school. I got common sense. So when I'm drilling you and I got you on the stand, how many freak-offs did you attend? Let me remind you that you are under oath. I don't know. How many? Was it one? You would know if you only went to one. No, it was more than one. Was it two? I don't know. It was probably more. Would you say that you've attended more than 5 freak-offs? Maybe. So it's safe to say that because you've attended at a bare minimum of 5 freak-offs, that you enjoyed these freak-offs. I object, Your Honor. He's leading the witness. No. We're trying to establish the fact of this individual is saying that he or she was forced to go to these freak-offs, but continuously went back and went back and went back. I know. Well, he told me that if I didn't attend, then he was going to ruin my career and I'd never be a singer, I'd never be a rapper, or I'd never work in this town again. I know. P. Diddy's lawyers are going to kill these people on the stands. It's awfully funny that you charge a person with a RICO, but it's only one individual. You know why? There's an individual that's been charged with that on a state level only, twice. Let me tell you why. They know a lot more than we know, obviously. They have names. They've interviewed, they've been in contact with people. People have attorneys. They're just not releasing that to the public. You want to go to jail, you want to go home. Either you're going to be a witness or you're going to be a defendant. Now, I could charge you with this, but if you say this over here, then now you're just a witness. So you got individuals that's going to say what the courts want them to say to try to put this man away. But yet you was a willing participant, never saying that he wasn't having freak-offs. You all would have went to the freak-offs too. Most people would have gone to a P. Diddy freak-off with some of the baddest women in the world. But now everybody's making it, oh man, he was having freak-offs. Consenting adults. See, it's always fun until somebody gets caught up. It's always fun and games. As soon as them charges come, that's when it's, whoa, I didn't sign up for this. It's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward. You can only imagine the additional charges that's going to be added. Well, they can't charge him with this, KENZ, because statute of limitation. Listen, man. If somebody did me something, if somebody did something to me sexually, I'm going to go and talk to the police. Now, I understand that you have some people that are afraid to come forward. I get that. So I'm compassionate for those individuals. I'm moving my seat back. So I'm compassionate for those individuals that were, because unfortunately that does happen. People, things happen and they don't want to come forward and report it, and they're afraid or just ashamed, or totally get it. But everybody's not feeling that way. That's like if charges came against Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was he tricked me. He was putting stuff in my drinks back in, the 80s, the 90s, mainly the 90s when Jordan, they was really, really doing their thing. Chicago Bulls. Winning championship after championship. Yeah, Jordan, and he got me in a hotel room and he did this to me. It's like the young lady that accused Mike Tyson. To this day, he maintains his innocence. You show up in my hotel room 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, talk? I'm not saying that you're not able to do that. You sue him for all these millions of dollars. At least she filed a criminal complaint against him. These people ain't even filing criminal complaints against P. Diddy. Never have. So as I was speaking of Michael Jordan, the biggest person, most globally recognized than anyone else. Oh, he put pills in my drink and I didn't know what was going on. Look what happened to Kobe. Look what Kobe went through. Everybody's not honest. Everybody, just because they come out and say something, they recognize an opportunity to get paid. Know how hard money is to come by? Rhetorical. I know you all know. I'm in Kentucky. I know the wages is different. The cost of living is different, in different areas, different states. If you make $70,000, $80,000 a year here, man, living nice. You got a nice job. You know, you living below your means. You're not trying to live above your means. You got a nice job making $70,000 a year. Of course, you get taxed. So at $70,000, your 401k, your insurance, your, everything that's coming out of your check. So that $70,000 a year is probably more about $35,000 as far as what you actually gonna see. $35,000-$40,000, what you're actually gonna see. So just imagine if you have an opportunity to come up on 400 G's, 400,000. You know how long it would take you to make 400 to see 400,000? Do a lot of things with 400 G's. And that's what a lot of these individuals are thinking. They're going to continue to blast P. Diddy in the news, in the public. They're going to continue to announce additional charges. You got an 800 number. I can call the 800 number. Yeah, man, I went to a concert one time, man. I had a backstage pass, man, and P. Diddy did this to me. Well, if it sounds good enough, you tell a lie, I tell a lie. Come on. We're going to bring you aboard, too. You're going to have a whole lot of bogus claims. Over 3,200 people called. Over 30, and this was at the time when they announced it a few days. 3,200 people called. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. It's a money grab, man. People want that bread. They want that money. And I look forward to him and his attorneys having their day in court just as well. This man got a family. This man got kids, man. Don't believe he held anybody at their will. Don't believe he sex trafficked anyone. I don't believe that he's guilty of, definitely don't believe he's guilty of a RICO act. The blowing up the car, like I said, the arson, I can see him doing that. Hitting the women, obviously he hits women. Give him 10 years. A little excessive, but give him 10 years in the feds. You do 8.5. But don't start the sex crimes. Don't leave that out of it. Y'all did R. Kelly like that, man. R. Kelly wasn't no sex trafficker. But they'll make you seem like one, and they'll put it in the public, and that's all she wrote. And you got guys like 50 Cent. You better be careful, 50 Cent. Because what I heard, you wasn't no angel. Your son's mother then came out multiple times and said that you used to beat the brakes off of her. So let's just say that's true. How many other women will come out and say that? Then they start to dig. Well, not only did you beat women, well, dang, we see that you did this over here. So they begin to dig a little deeper. And you did this. And you did that. And you done pissed these people off over here. Oh, okay. So now we're going to get you too. A lot of times they say, Master P, he was up there with those guys. Rapper Master P. Now when I say up there, I mean money-wise. Russell Simmons, Jay-Z, P. Diddy. He was up there with them. But then you didn't really, it's like he fell off you didn't see Master P anymore. Because Master P didn't play the games. He didn't do the Hollywood parties. He didn't hang out with celebrities. He hung out with his homies that he came up with. His day ones. Never seen P at a Hollywood party. Never see P hanging out with P. Diddy's or Jay-Z's or nobody. Because he knew the game. You'll never catch him on one of them tapes. He was giving us the game a long time ago. I don't party in Hollywood. I don't party, period. I go get my money. If you see me at a party, you see me at an event or something like that, best believe I'm there to get a bag. I go get my money, collect, I'm gone. These dudes is kind of weird to me, and I don't get with that. And that was his demeanor, man. People should be ashamed of themselves that's just coming out, just making up stories. For the ones that are. For the ones that are exaggerating just to get some money. Every dog has his day. Same way P. Diddy's having his day. And you reap what you sow, man. Real KENZ TV. Hopefully you like the video, which I'm sure a lot of you probably are not. Feel free to comment. I'm sure a lot of you will. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, you're amongst the first to receive. For whatever reason, my notifications are not being sent out. Check my channel daily. I'm dropping videos nearly every day. Just check the channel. Not sure why you all not getting the notifications, but we're not gonna cry about it. We just gonna keep it moving, man. Real KENZ TV.